Our movie begins with a person drowning in a frozen lake. Suddenly, this person wakes up, opens his eyes, and is deeply shocked by the situation he is in. Therefore, he tries to break a part of the ice on the lake's surface, and he actually manages to do so. He gets out and flies into the air. While flying, he sees the moon and is fascinated by its beauty. Afterward, he lands on the ice again, appearing not to understand what happened to him. He also doesn't know who he is, what his story is, or what brought him here. All he remembers is that his name is Jack. He seems surprised by the shape of the staff in front of him, and when he holds it, he discovers that he can spread ice. He becomes very happy and uses this staff to freeze everything he touches. While skating on the ice, he discovers he can fly, but unfortunately, he isn't able to control it well enough and falls, ending up on a tree trunk. Despite this, he starts flying again and sets off until he reaches a certain village. He seems very happy and wants to let people know he has superpowers, but he is later shocked when he finds these people passing through him. He understands that no one there sees him at all, so he becomes very sad and terrified of his situation and leaves the place. Many years pass after this incident. We go to a certain building in the North Pole. This building is a house where an old man named North lives. We understand that North is Santa Claus himself, who distributes gifts on Christmas Day. We see him making a toy in the shape of a train out of ice. Suddenly, one of his assistants enters and informs him that something dangerous is happening. They quickly go to a certain room containing a globe of the Earth. There, North is very surprised when he sees the lights flickering and their number decreasing. At that moment, we understand that each light means there is a child who believes in their existence. Suddenly, terrifying black sand appears and forms on the globe. At that time, all the elves present hide quickly because they are afraid of it. Curiously, this sand gathers together and takes the shape of an evil person and then disappears again. North is shocked by what happened and asks the elves to get ready. He presses a certain button that spreads the aurora borealis in specific places. At this time, we see a strange creature named Sandy. We learn that his mission is to spread sweet dreams to all the children of the world. As soon as he sees the aurora, he understands something is wrong and creates a plane out of magic sand, setting off quickly to go to North. In another place, we see the Tooth Fairy named Tooth. We understand that she organizes the movement of a large group of mini-fairies whose mission is to exchange children's teeth under the pillow for gifts or money. As soon as Tooth sees the aurora in the sky, she is very surprised and sets off quickly to go to North as well. On the other hand, we see a rabbit named Bunny running in his tunnels. We learn that his mission is to color the eggs for Easter. As soon as he sees the aurora, he gets startled and sets off to go to North, traveling to the North Pole. After a short while, Sandy, Bunny, and Tooth all gather at North's place. We understand that the four of them are called the Guardians, and their mission is to protect children. At this time, North starts talking to them and informs them that he gathered them for an important reason. The evil person named Pitch has appeared in the North Pole. He explains to them that he is a very dangerous person because he can control panic, horror, and fear. When Tooth hears this, she is very surprised because Pitch disappeared and hadn't appeared for years. North confirms to her and the rest of the Guardians that he has appeared again, explaining that he covered the globe with black sand, which makes North feel that Pitch is planning something very evil. At this moment, Bunny interrupts North and mocks him, saying they shouldn't believe his feeling, especially since he has no proof. He reminds him that there are only 3 days left until Easter, and he is very busy. While the Guardians are all discussing together, Sandy notices that the moonlight is directed toward them. Because he cannot speak, none of the Guardians can hear him, so he tries to get their attention and points to the moonlight. North is fascinated when he sees this light and says it hasn't appeared for a long time. He explains to the rest of the Guardians that the moon has always guided them to the right path. Suddenly, this light descends on a certain spot and draws the shape of Pitch. This serves as proof to the Guardians that North's words are true and that he isn't lying to them. Suddenly, the four of them see a crystal emerging from the ground, reflecting light everywhere. They get very excited because this means a new Guardian will be chosen to help them. However, they are later surprised when a silhouette of Jack appears. At that moment, Bunny gets angry and says that Jack is a reckless person who does nothing but spread ice. As for Tooth, it appears she is impressed by him, as are all the mini-fairies. At this time, North calms them down, saying he trusts the moon's choice and believes there must be something that distinguishes Jack from others that they don't know yet. We return to Jack and see him spreading ice in one of the cities. He appears happy and is enjoying what he's doing. He flies for a long time and then lands to skate while spreading ice everywhere. After a while, he goes to watch a little boy named Jaime and hears him telling his friends about the Guardians who protect children. He tells them he believes in their existence and hopes to see them one day. Strangely, neither he nor his friends know anything about Jack, so they don't see him even though he is standing right next to them. After a while, Jaime asks his sister, Sophie, to stay in the house, and he takes his sled and sets off to play with his friends. At this time, Jack throws a snowball at him, making him feel fun and happy. Because of this, Jaime starts throwing snowballs at his friends, and everyone starts throwing snowballs at each other. Jack helps them make these balls so they can enjoy their time together more. When an aggressive girl joins them, Jack throws a snowball at her, making her happy and play with them while enjoying herself very much. Afterward, Jack takes advantage of Jaime's skating and creates ice in front of him, making him go down to the street and slide at a crazy speed. He keeps drawing the path he skates on all the time and makes him avoid any dangers he faces, whether from people or cars. He causes him to fly into the air and land safely in the snow. At that moment, his friends are very impressed by what he did. Jack is also at the peak of his happiness because he made them happy. Suddenly, Jaime moves quickly and gets hit in the face. Because of this hit, his tooth falls out. He says the tooth fairy will surely come to him today. He and his friends keep talking about the tooth fairy and forget they were having a good time because of Jack. Jack becomes very sad and upset when he stands in front of them while they pass through him, not seeing him. On the same day at night, we see Jaime telling his sister Sophie about what happened to him. He explains that he skated at a crazy speed and also got hit in his face, and his tooth fell out. We then go to Jack and see him walking on the roof of the house. He thinks a lot about the reason why children don't believe in his existence and doesn't understand why the moon chose him to be the controller of ice. While walking on the wires, he sees Sandy's magic sand and understands it's responsible for children's sweet dreams. He is very happy with it. At that time, part of the sand goes to the aggressive girl and makes her have a beautiful dream. On the other hand, we see Pitch in the same street, saying that his nightmares are finally ready to execute his plan. He is sure the Guardians won't be able to stop him. Suddenly, he appears in the aggressive girl's room and mocks her beautiful dream. As soon as he touches this dream, he turns it into a nightmare of black sand that takes the shape of a very terrifying and scary horse. At this moment, Pitch orders it to go and turn the rest of the dreams. Indeed, the horse leaves him and sets off quickly to execute its mission. We return to Jack, who appears very happy watching Sandy's magic sand. But suddenly he feels a strange movement and notices someone running around him. He decides to run after and chase them, even though he doesn't know who it is. Once he corners them, he is very surprised to find it's Bunny, who is angry and upset with him because he ruined Easter before due to a blizzard. Because of this, Jack apologizes for what he did to him last time. But suddenly, North's assistants come, put him in a bag, and kidnap him. They open a magic portal and enter it to return to North. As for Bunny, he taps on the ground, which opens a certain tunnel for him. Once Bunny goes down the tunnel, it disappears completely. We then go to North's headquarters in the North Pole and see the magic portal appearing again. There, Jack comes out of the bag and is surprised by the place he is in. At this moment, North and the rest of the Guardians come and welcome him. Afterward, Tooth approaches him and starts examining his teeth with excitement. At that time, Jack is very surprised by his presence in this place and asks the Guardians to explain why they kidnapped him. North replies and explains that the moon chose him to be one of the Guardians. He makes the elves and assistants celebrate him and present a welcoming show. Because Jack doesn't understand anything, he gets angry, hits the ground with his staff, spreads ice throughout the entire place, and stops the celebrations. He tells them he doesn't want to be a guardian or anything and reminds them they were always upset with his presence. North calms him down and tries to explain his importance as a guardian. He explains that their mission is to protect all children so they continue believing in their existence. He tells him that the evil Pitch has returned and is planning something very sinister, and that he must help them so they can stop him. Jack is surprised and says he isn't special like them and isn't strong enough to face Pitch. But then North interrupts him and confirms that the moon is the one who chose him to be a guardian, which means he possesses very special abilities. Jack is surprised by his words and asks him and the rest of the Guardians about this moon, wondering why the moon hasn't told him his truth until now, and he starts mocking them. Bunny gets annoyed and reminds him that he puts in a lot of effort to make children happy, yet none of them believe in his existence. Jack gets angry and mocks him even more. The discussion between them intensifies more and more, and they are on the verge of fighting with each other. At this moment, North intervenes and tries to calm them down. He takes Jack and goes down to show him the place where they make Christmas gifts. There, Jack is surprised to see the elves playing and doing nothing useful. unlike the giants who are dedicated to manufacturing all the toys. After a while, North takes Jack to his office, closes the door, scares him, and asks him who he is and what makes him special. He explains that since the moon chose him to be a guardian, he must have special abilities. He gives him a certain doll and asks him to open it. Jack does so, and every time he opens one, he finds another inside it representing a different trait. Each doll is characterized by a specific trait like mystery, happiness, or anger. Afterward, Jack reaches the last doll, which is a small child with wide eyes. At that time, North explains to Jack that what distinguishes him is his wide eyes, which make him see everything around him with a beautiful and special imagination. Thanks to these eyes, North was able to make millions of special toys and was the reason for children's happiness in all Christmases. He confirms to Jack that this is what makes him special and asks him what distinguishes him. Unfortunately, Jack doesn't know how to answer him. At that time, North gives him the doll and confirms that he will know this answer one day. Until then, he must believe in his destiny as one of the guardians. While they are talking, they see Tooth leaving the place. Suddenly, Bunny comes and informs them there's a big problem in the Tooth Palace. At that time, North gets very worried and has the assistants prepare his sleigh so they can all go to the Tooth Palace and help Tooth. When Jack sees North's sleigh, he is very impressed by its shape and the reindeer pulling it. As soon as the guardians all board it, North takes them and sets off. Afterward, we see the reindeer running with them at a crazy speed inside the ice tunnels. We notice that Bunny is very afraid, unlike Jack and Sandy, who are happy and enjoying their time. Once they exit the ice tunnels, the reindeer take them and fly into the sky. Along the way, Jack pretends to fall and keeps mocking Bunny while sitting on the sled. After a while, North uses the globe that opens the magic portal for them. Suddenly, this portal pulls them and takes them to a place near the Tooth Palace. There, the Guardians are surprised when they see the black horses and understand they are nightmares. They notice they are chasing the mini-fairies and kidnapping them. Fortunately, Jack intervenes and manages to save one of the fairies and reassures her. When they enter the Tooth Palace, they are very shocked because no fairies are left. As soon as North destroys one of the horses, he discovers they are stealing the teeth as well. At that time, Jack takes control of the sleigh and lands them safely. At this time, we see Tooth deeply shocked by what happened because the nightmares kidnapped the mini-fairies and also all the teeth. When Jack notices how sad Tooth is, he tries to reassure her and shows her that he managed to save one of the mini-fairies. At that time, the rest of the Guardians go to support her and try to comfort her. Suddenly, Pitch appears above them and mocks them. When Tooth tries to attack him, he disappears and appears in another place. He explains to the Guardians that he is doing all this so that children will go back to believing in the existence of fear. He moves from place to place, surprised by Jack's presence with them, telling him they are very similar because children don't believe in his existence either. At this time, Tooth is very angry at Pitch because he kidnapped the mini-fairies. When she tries to pounce on him, he scares her with one of the nightmares and explains to Sandy that these nightmares are made from his magic sand, and that he spent many years training to turn dreams into nightmares. He explains to the Guardians that his best days were in the Dark Ages when he scared everyone. But once they appeared, people were no longer afraid of him nor believed in his existence at all. He confirms to them that the time has come to change everything and shows them that the Tooth Palace has actually started to collapse. At this moment, Tooth understands that this is because of the children and that when they woke up, they found their teeth still under the pillow. She becomes very sad and explains to Jack that children no longer believe in her existence. Suddenly, Pitch intervenes and informs Jack that because of this, children will lose their faith in the Guardians, and consequently, there will be no Easter, no Christmas, and not even sweet dreams. At that time, nothing will remain but fear, panic, and darkness, which will make all children believe in his existence. Bunny gets angry at Pitch's words and tries to attack him, but unfortunately, Pitch is able to avoid his attacks and descends quickly. North and the rest of the Guardians go down after him and chase him, but unfortunately, they cannot reach him. After a while, Jack goes to console Tooth and tries to comfort her. He asks her why Pitch stole the children's teeth. Tooth replies and informs him that it's not about the teeth, but rather about the memories those teeth hold. She explains that they collect the teeth because they contain the most important childhood memories. She takes him and shows him their first drawing on the wall and explains that when one of the children wants to remember something, they can help them thanks to the teeth they have. She explains to him that they were keeping all human memories, including his childhood memories. Jack is surprised when he hears this and is very astonished. He understands that he was a normal person before gaining his superpowers and confirms that his life didn't start at the frozen lake and that he had a family and a home. He is shocked when he realizes he could have known his truth a long time ago. He understands that if he retrieves his teeth, he will be able to regain his memories, and thus he will discover the reason for gaining this power and the form he has become. He gets very excited and informs North that he will help them in confronting Pitch in exchange for retrieving his memories to know his truth. Suddenly, the drawing on the wall fades, and at that time, Tooth starts losing her power. This means children have actually started to lose their faith in her existence. At this moment, North comes up with a crazy idea. They will perform the mission of the mini-fairies and help her collect the teeth. This will make children believe in her existence again. Tooth is surprised by the idea and explains to him that this is impossible because they won't be able to execute a mission performed by thousands of mini-fairies. But suddenly, Bunny intervenes and reminds her that on Easter, he can hide millions of eggs. Also, North tells her that on Christmas, he can visit millions of homes, and a mission like this won't be difficult for them. As expected, Jack and Sandy also decide to join them in collecting children's teeth. Indeed, we see them all moving from one house to another to collect teeth, appearing very excited. At that time, each one challenges the other to collect a larger number of teeth. At this time, we see Bunny using his tunnels, which enable him to move quickly, and thus he collects a large number of teeth. As for North, he enters houses through chimneys and takes all the teeth he finds under the pillows. Also, Jack and Sandy use their superpowers and do the same, and each of them starts putting the other in trouble to take the teeth he has. After a while, the four of them show Tooth the amount of teeth they collected. Tooth is impressed by their speed and asks them if they left gifts or money for the children. Unfortunately, none of them left anything in place of the teeth. Therefore, they go back and put many gifts and money for the children under the pillows. Unfortunately, one of the nightmares sees them and goes underground, then goes to Pitch's hideout and informs him of everything happening. Pitch gets annoyed and understands that this is the reason the lights haven't disappeared until now. At this time, we see the mini-fairies imprisoned in cages, appearing very happy because of what is happening. This is unlike Pitch, who is angry and doesn't know what to do or how to act, until he comes up with an idea to destroy Sandy and decides to execute it. We return to Jack and Tooth and see them in Jaime's room to take his tooth. While they are doing so, Tooth is very regretful because she hasn't gone out to collect teeth herself for a long time. She thanks Jack for his help and wishes she knew his memories to help him. Suddenly, North and Sandy enter, and Bunny also joins them. They all talk loudly so Jaime doesn't wake up. At that time, Jack and Bunny challenge each other, each seeing that he collected more teeth than the other. But suddenly, North intervenes and mocks them, showing them that he collected more than both of them. Because of his loud voice, Jaime wakes up and is amazed when he sees them. He identifies them all except Jack, who becomes very sad and upset, understanding that Jaime didn't see him because he doesn't believe in his existence. At that time, Bunny asks Sandy to put Jaime to sleep with his magic sand. But suddenly, Jaime's dog comes and runs after Bunny, chasing him in the room. At this time, Jack mocks him. Unfortunately, the sand hits Bunny and puts him to sleep, reflecting in the place and hitting North, Tooth, and the mini-fairy, putting them to sleep as well. In the end, the sand comes on Jaime and his dog, making them join them. Thus, only Jack and Sandy remain awake. They are surprised when they see two nightmares watching them, and they exit the window and set off after them, chasing them in the street to reach Pitch. On the other hand, we see Sophie entering Jaime's room, and she is very amazed when she sees the Guardians. She goes and takes North's globe. As soon as she thinks of the Easter Bunny, the globe opens a magic portal for her, and Sophie enters it without understanding anything. And with that, the first part comes to an end. If you want to see the second part, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.